Elyssa,
Yes.
how are you? How you doing?
I'm honestly doing so good.
I'm so glad to have you here.
I am definitely a little nervous because this is not something I do on the regular. I
What?
let
Wait, I don't bite. Maybe at like 3 a.m. or something like that. But other than that, it's all good.
Cool. Sounds great.
You were gonna say something. You said because you let what?
Oh, I usually, John, my husband is the one who does all the things like this. And I
Mhm.
kind of like to sit in the background, like do my TikTok stuff, you know?
Absolutely.
So I'm excited, a little nervous, but very excited.
You know, I actually talked to John and the members on the outside actually a couple of months ago, and they were like such good dudes, man.
No way. Well, yeah, they're my best friends. So I would also concur that they're great people.
It's such a we had such a good conversation. We were supposed to like get together and play pong in the pool. Have a
Oh,
good time.
nice.
So tell me about you. How are you? What have you been doing during the pandemic? What's up?
Yeah. This pandemic for me has been quite busy despite just sitting at the house, which I
Mhm.
love because I don't like people outside that much. So I'm an introvert. So I'm enjoying it. You said me too.
Let me tell you, and I hate like now I don't want to go back to not wearing a mask because I like hiding behind it.
Me too. Like I don't have to do my makeup. I can throw that my mask on, go to the grocery store, and the only place I have to go is the grocery store.
So you're thriving in quarantine.
I'm thriving. I hang out with my cats all day long and
Mhm.
post TikTok videos and just I don't know, it's kind of been really great for me. I know it's been really hard for other people, but I feel very blessed to have still been able to enjoy my life in quarantine.
You know what's funny? During the beginning of it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so good," because I'm somebody just like you that hates to deal with people, hates to see people. But then towards the end, like right now, I'm like, I gotta get out. I gotta do something. I gotta see
Yeah.
people. That's how I feel right now.
I kind of want to be able to go to a restaurant and sit inside right now. I think that's the only thing. I'm like, dang, I really wish I could do that soon enough.
Absolutely. So let's talk about. Can we talk about you getting
Yeah.
married to
Yeah.
John? How was that? How'd you guys meet?
We met, I think we're going on 4 years ago now on set for a movie.
Hmm.
And it was very funny. We hated each other at first.
Isn't that always how it works?
Yeah, I feel like that's how some of the best stories start. You're like, that person didn't like them, and then you're like, oh, so how are you married?
Right.
um, but then we ended up having mutual friends, even though we had been living in LA, I think for 3 or 4 years separate from knowing each other,
Mhm.
and we just started hanging out. And I think it took about 6 to 8 months for us to become best friends. And then at a year from when we met, we were like, dang, you kind of cute. And here we are.
Well, here's the thing. Is it awkward when somebody makes the first move on a friend?
Oh my gosh, so awkward. I had just moved into a new house,
Mhm.
and I think I'll admit I liked him first. He definitely had feelings, and he says he doesn't, but I did like him first.
Got that intuition, you know.
I knew, I knew, but I was terrified. I was like, oh my gosh, what if he doesn't like me back, and then I can't be friends with him anymore? And
Mhm.
so we sat down. He had been helping me move all day into a new house with my family. And it was the end of the day. We were tired. I was sitting there on the couch. And I was like, dang, it's so great. We can talk about almost everything. He goes,
Right.
almost everything. What do we not talk about? There's this one thing. And then he made me say it. And then he agreed. And I was over the moon.
I love that you hit him with a loaded question.
I had to sneak it in there somehow, but I didn't want to be like, oh, I like you, you know?
Do you think he knew what you were doing when you were doing? Oh, he did.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He knew. You could see it in his eyes.
He just wanted you to ask because he
Yep.
felt the same way.
He wanted me to say it first.
How
So
dare.
sneaky.
So, what are some of the things that you feel like you guys have learned about each other and about yourself while being married?
I think we've had a really cool opportunity in the fact that we have been home the
Mhm.
entire time because we got engaged in April of last year. And when we were deciding how quickly to get married, we kind of decided, well, what if this thing lasts for years and we can never have a big wedding for years? And we were like, you know what? Let's just get married in quarantine. Let's move in together. Let's do the whole thing and just have, I think we had like 11 people at our little like elopement.
Mhm.
But we have been together every single day since getting married, and that has forced you to really get to know someone. Like you can't just run away and go off and do, like if you have issues, you got to stay home. You got to work it out. So I've learned to be more patient. I've learned to deal with the little piles of laundry, just all the things that come with being stuck in one house together.
Right. Just little things that make him tick. Like I'm the type of
Mhm.
person who will like to step up out of my clothes and leave them exactly where they are.
He does that too.
Or like not make up the bed. So just little things like that. That's just like, really?
You're like, really? Yeah, but I guess after a year in quarantine, you deal with it. You're like, whatever.
Right. Well, one thing that I really appreciate about you is that you're so willing to talk about hair loss. I think that
Oh,
is
thank you.
so great to be that vulnerable and transparent. Was that always the case for you?
Absolutely not.
Mm,
I have been dealing with it since I think it began my 8th grade year. So at that for a woman, for a girl, is like the most vulnerable part of life. You're going into high school. I started losing my hair the summer before my freshman year. So I already went in missing like half of my hair and I would hide it. I'd like put it up in a bun and like,
mm,
do all the things that you can to hide it. But it was definitely obvious. And when people would ask me, I'd be like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Because I was terrified of getting teased and feeling like less of a person
right.
because one thing wasn't the normal.
Hmm.
And I honestly hid it for so long. Like when I met John, I didn't tell him for months and months and months because I was working with this really cool company who actually helps women with hair loss from everything from like when cancer to alopecia, like everything in between.
Hmm.
And so I was working with them, so I was able to hide it, which made me able to like, lie about it for a little longer than I maybe should have.
Right.
But now it's been so long and it just keeps happening. It's like a cycle. And I guess the body positivity movement on
Hmm.
TikTok and Instagram, it's really going strong right now. And I wanted to be able to contribute my voice in that. And I feel like for me, hair was my thing. And I know there's so many women out there who are
Hmm.
dealing with it and feel like less of a woman because they don't have that perfect head of hair. And I want to be the person who's like, no, you're beautiful. Do not let that stop you. So I shaved my head.
That's amazing. That's so good.
Thank you. It's
That
really terrifying. And I'm still scared to do it right now in this interview. I'm like, oh my gosh, be honest, Elyssa, be honest.
really, it's still a thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Do you ever get DMs from people saying how much you've helped them come to terms, or how does that feel?
Scary because I feel like I'm responsible for other people a little bit, and that's terrifying. But at the same time, I I almost start crying sometimes when they send me because I never imagined in my entire life that I'd be able to positively impact someone
Hmm.
and help them be confident in themselves. And that is such a powerful, beautiful thing. And I feel so blessed and lucky, but also terrified that I'm gonna not say the right thing or um, not be honest enough. But when they send those DMs, man, I'm like, wow, you just made my whole entire life.
Do you still feel like you are uncomfortable speaking about it right now? Still.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So it's still a thing and it's something that you're working
I
toward.
have days where I look in the mirror and I just like start bawling because I don't have that perfect head of hair. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so ugly today. And John tries to help, my family tries to help, but at the end of the day, it has to come from me. And I'm definitely on that journey right now of no, you're beautiful. Like, look in the mirror. You were beautiful yesterday. You're beautiful today. You're beautiful with a wig on. You're beautiful with no wig on. You're beautiful with your bald spot showing or hiding. Like, it does not change. And
It
I'm
does
in
find
that journey myself.
right. Well, I will say you are rocking that cut. Like
Thank you.
you are killing it.
Thank you.
I want to know, being a content creator, right? Is that
Mhm.
something you set out to do, or was that just something that you fell into?
I completely fell into it. I started with musical theater and then acting in the film
Hmm.
zone, and I was not on social media at all, and then I was watching the people around me be really successful. Like, that's kind of cool. So then I started, and then it just blew up. I think I gained 7 or 8 million followers from January to I think April it was. I think I was at 5 million followers by April, and now I was at 10 million, and then something happened, I'm at 9 now, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I gained 10 million followers in a year." That's so many people.
Do you feel like you got to keep up like what you're doing because you do the pressure?
Absolutely. The pressure is on. And in quarantine, I wake up sometimes, don't tell anybody. I'm like, I don't want to make a video today. I just want to eat ice cream and watch TV. So quarantine has definitely taken my motivation from here to like a here.
I get that because there's no like, there's nothing to stimulate us right now.
Yeah. But oh well. But I can't believe this is what I do now. I cannot believe it.
That's so dope. I was watching one video and you were just like bawling because the woman at Starbucks said that you were like, that's why you always have to be nice to people because you never, number one, never know what people are going through. And number two, it just can make their day. It's just saying something like that.
You never know. And that made my day, honestly. I was sobbing for minutes after that. Happy tears. So like, she cared about me. She thought I was cute. And I wanted my followers to know, like, say that to somebody, like, be the person that makes someone's day. So
Absolutely. So,
thank you for watching that video.
of course. So, March is Women's History Month. And I want to know, how important is Women's History Month to you?
I think it's really important. It's funny. I never really thought about it before I was on social media, which is interesting. But I so appreciate that TikTok and Instagram, all of the things, folks give you a platform to focus on the things that you maybe haven't felt seen before for. So oftentimes women don't feel seen and don't feel valued and don't feel appreciated. And I so appreciate Women's History Month because we are able to look back on incredible women and appreciate the women today that are so incredible. And it just gives us more space to do that. So I think it's cool.
I love that. So what else are you working on?
What am I working on? Well, other than, my confidence, that's such a good question. What do I do?
Dope TikToks.
I make TikToks. I'm right now working a lot alongside On the Outside to help them with their new single release. And because it is talking about how beautiful women are, I've been trying to push that and be like, yeah, we're so beautiful, and using that and taking a lot of time with my cats. I don't know, honestly making content. Oh, and YouTube. I've been focusing on YouTube a lot. Just doing whatever it takes to get through Corona and quarantine until I can get out there and collaborate with people again and, push it more on the grand side.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time and chatting with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And it was just like, it was a real deep conversation, I feel like. And I'm so glad that we were able to have that.
Thank you so much. It was awesome to meet you and to be here and to get to talk about the things that I'm so passionate about. So thank you for giving me that space.